Tell me about the first time you met Grandma.
What's that?
Tell me about the first time you met Grandma. Do you remember that?
I met Alberta. She was Alberta West. And so my name was Montgomery. And of course we got married and we had 7 children.
But tell me about when you
first met me.
When you first met her.
When I first met her, you have to tell them about that. Your memory is better than mine.
We met at a friend's house. She had met some sailors.
Okay.
They came to her house and brought him. I stopped by her house as I normally did on my way home from work. I stopped only to find I think it was 4 sailors there, and Bill was one of them. And so we introduced each other, and I went on home because I was going home from work. I thought that was the last time I'd see him. We just said hello, well, I'm so-and-so, whatever. That was a Friday night. That Sunday, the following Sunday, I was coming home from Sunday school. Back then, and I understand some churches still do it, back then we had Sunday school in the evening, like 4 o'clock. We met at 4 o'clock for Sunday school. So I was walking home from Sunday school. And get by. Watch yourself now. Hold on. Watch yourself.
I'm okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You pull your pants up good when you come back. So, as I was saying, I was on my way home from Sunday school. And I looked down the street, pulled the door. And I saw this sailor coming towards me. And I said, who in the world is he? You know, where is he coming? Because I forgot that was from Friday night to Sunday evening. I had forgotten I had met someone. So as he came closer to me, then I remembered the face, having seen the face. And so he came home with me and we talked. And that went by. We knew each other 2 years. I met him in 43 and I married him in 45. So it was a little more than 2 years after meeting him that I met him, that I married him. By that time, or within that time, I had graduated from high school, left Charleston, and moved to Philadelphia where my sisters were. And he learned where I was and started coming to Philadelphia to visit, to visit me. And he would stay with my aunt, because rather than go to a hotel, she let him stay with her. Then she fell in love with him and decided I had to marry him. I had to marry him.
So she hooked it up.
She hooked it
Oh, yeah.
very well. So,
What aunt was this?
that was my father's youngest sister. She
Okay.
passed a number of years ago.
What was her name? Do you
Aunt
remember?
Lee.
Aunt Lee. Okay, okay. Your father's youngest sister. So, so did he propose to you, or did she just arrange the marriage?
Well, she encouraged him, and he wrote the proposal in a letter to me, because I had told them I was not getting married to anybody because I made up my mind I wanted to go. I had fixed in my mind that I wanted to go to nursing school because I wanted to be a registered nurse.
Okay.
Only to apply to 3 schools and was turned down by all three.
Okay.
And I couldn't understand it. It upset me so bad. I had to write these people to find out what was wrong
Right.
about me. They couldn't accept me. And come to find out, I hadn't had chemistry.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
in school had told me you
Oh,
got to have chemistry.
chemistry.
And I was telling them all along I wanted to be a
Okay.
nurse. I'm going to
Yeah.
be a nurse.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
just cut. You
Ah,
got your pants on? Pull your pants in the back.
Yeah.
Watch yourself now.
I never known that story, Grandma.
But after getting over the disappointment of not being able to get to watch yourself, not
Excuse
being
me.
able to go to nursing school, then I had to change my way of thinking. So, since I couldn't go to nursing school, I decided I would go to college. Well, he didn't want me to go to college. If you marry me, when we get married, I'll give you whatever you need. You don't have to worry about having to get a job or what. You know how men talk. They're gonna give you the
I said the
world.
same thing to her.
They're gonna give
That's
you
why I'm
the
laughing.
world.
I said the
was in
same thing to her.
service. I was in the service, and she got that allotment for her and all the children,
Yeah,
so that she didn't have to work.
yeah. The cost of living allowance, the COLA, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Cola, right.
But he couldn't understand at that time, he later did, that it didn't matter. I was grateful I had a husband
Right.
who was in the service and we had a regular income. But I was a person
Right. You wanted to do your thing.
and I wanted to do my thing.
Right.
I wanted to, develop my personality, what I could do, what I could be, and
Right.
that kind of thing. And of course, naturally, he didn't understand that. But I went on.
You was a school teacher for a while, weren't you?
yes, after whatever, I did teach. But we got through. We had our children.
What was some of the what were some challenges that you all remember that really just talk about one challenge from all of the years that you all been married that really you all glad you persevered through.
Well, to be honest and open with you, the fire that Nina and I suffered through, that was
Was tragedy.
that was awful. That was just awful because I nearly lost my life, and Nina nearly died when she was born. The doctors had told me I would not live to bring the baby, and they wanted to take her,
Okay.
and I wouldn't allow it. So when it was time for her to be born, both of us was very ill, and she was very ill. It was to the point where I had to leave her in the hospital and come home. After they felt I was well enough to come home, I went home, but she had to stay in the hospital. And they kept telling me they just didn't see, they just didn't know how she would live, But God blessed us, and she did live, and we were able to bring her home, and that kind of thing. But
But the blessing of it all was that I was in the Navy at the time, and she was my dependent, and the Navy took care of the dependents of the people that's been in the service. So the Navy took care of all that expense for her in the hospital and all of that.
yes,
It was high, but they paid for it because they were dependents of mine.
we were thankful for that, and even later years when we had the fire, which just nearly destroyed her, and nearly destroyed me because I was blamed for it, and as a result, I suffered a breakdown, and I was in the hospital 4 months while somebody was, looking out for her.
You suffered a mental breakdown.
Yes.
Okay.
And
nervous condition.
because
Teach toilet tissue about that long week.
Give some
Teach
tissue.
toilet tissue about that.
you don't have any handkerchiefs.
Down in my pocket. Go ahead.
And now you make me forget.
Wow, Grandma, you never talked about
There you
this.
go, son.
No.
And I always wanted to ask you, but I've always felt that I would be crossing the line, because I don't think I was even born when it happened, and I always wanted to ask Nina, but I just never, I knew that there was once one topic to just not bring up, even as a child, So you saying this to me, this is the first time I've heard, your point of view, what happened. I just never knew what happened.
I don't mind talking about it,
Right.
but it's not a conversation that you just
Right.
bring up.
Yeah.
We suffered, Nina and myself, suffered through a living hell at that time because it all happened so quickly. There was just no warning.
Right.
There was no warning. And in the garage, when the fire broke out, and Nina had what you call it, polyester
Polyester,
clothing, and I was able to pray and ask God to help me get the garage door open. I had pressed the knob and it
Okay.
wouldn't go up, it just cracked.
Okay.
So I just asked God to help me push it so I could push her through that hole
yeah.
and get myself. It was an awful time.
Yeah.
And it's just, even now, all those years gone, it's very difficult for me to talk about it and difficult for me to see Nina in the condition she is in, even though she's a grown woman and whatever. I just say she missed so much. At the time that thing happened, Nina was into ballet and was doing well. And the man, she was going to a white school. The man had agreed to take her in Norfolk. And she had been with him about 2 years. And he had made arrangements for her to go to New York and study with the group that he knew about up there, only to have this happen that nearly took her life. And my burns and whatnot was nothing compared to what she went through. We nearly lost her. Just the grace of God kept her. And the scars and the whatnot, I've taken her from doctor to doctor to doctor. And some have just been very outspoken. And they've said to me, Ms. Montgomery, I'm sorry, but it's very little we can do with black people when they're burned as badly as she's burned. We just don't have the technique to help her and do, and that just broke my heart because
I can believe it. Oh my God.
Dennis, I think it was, he got a doctor from Washington to come to the hospital, and the doctors in the hospital brought in a man from, they didn't bring him for Nina, but they brought him for another case in New York, and while he was in New York, they brought him to Portsmouth, and he took a look at Nina, and just said, told me, I'm sorry. We just can't do anything. The only thing he said, I know we could do without too much harm to her, and that is to remove both her hands and implant, another one. And it was Nina who didn't want them to take. She said, whatever her hands look like, they're mine,
Right.
and I want to keep it. But we really went through something, and even though that happened 1978 and 79, 80, all along there, was in and out of the hospital and back and forth from doctors and that kind of thing. It never goes, it's never gone. It's always there to see, And then Bill blamed me for it because he said, when I backed the car out, I touched a pipe or something, which it was just, when I backed out, it was like, it didn't do any damage to the car at all.
Right.
And I just couldn't understand how I could be blamed when there was no damage to the car. But anyway, they said, I was responsible. I suffered a breakdown after I was in the hospital 4 months. But I thank God that I met him a long time ago. My father led me to Christ when I was 10 years old. I had no idea who he was talking about, but I learned. And I'm grateful to this day that it was my father. I would be grateful for anybody, but I'm grateful that it was my father. He was an Episcopal minister, and he was the one that led me to Christ, to tell me about Christ. I didn't know what he was talking about, but he gave me things to read, and he would ask me questions, and he allowed me to ask him questions, and that kind of thing. And I'm grateful today for that he.
And one good thing about the whole thing was I was in the service. I was in the Navy. I was drafted in the Navy in World War II. And I was in the service when the accident happened. And she got the best of care from those Navy hospital doctors,
Well, I went because you had retired then. You were retired from the service.
They brought doctors
when
in.
that happened. But I did go, because you were retired from the service, I still could go to the government hospital.
Right, okay.
And that's what we did.
And we had some of the best doctors to take care of them burns. Came down from Washington and different places up there to take care of them, to look.
Grandpa, how did it make you feel when she suffered a mental breakdown? Did you feel at fault for it or anything like that?
Very definitely, because let me see, I had done something in the garage, cleaned the cars and put them in the garage or something, and I put it. I shouldn't have put but one car in there, but it was 2 cars in the garage, and when she backed out, it bruised the pipe, and she closed the door naturally, the garage door, she closed it, and then while she went away somewhere, the garage filled up with gas.
Yeah.
And then when she came back, what had happened when you came back? You went in there.
Well, Billy met me when I pulled up in the yard and said, Mama, don't go in the house, there's gas in there. And I said, gas? Did you call the gas people and the fire department? She said, yeah, I called them all. They're on their way over here, but don't go in the house. I said, all right, I'm going to get the puppy for Nina. Nina said, no, Mama, I'll get out. And it was this race between, that's what caused the both of us to be in there. And I thank God today that I went, even though she was telling me not to go, let me go. Had she been in there by herself, we would not have her today.
And when that
It was just too much.
people came and inspected, and they said, what happened? We had gas heat and gas water heater there. And when they went in the garage to close the door, then the gas filled the garage up with gas from the heater and the furnace in the garage. And so while it was in there, and then and it was automatic, and that when it comes on, the gas comes on, a big flame comes on in the furnace, and the door was closing. And when they did, Nina, and brother was in there, and that thing, when the furnace come on automatically, see, there was a flame came out, and that was gas in there, and it just blew that place up, just blew it. Blew the windows out and the door and everything. And they was caught in all that fire. A big ball of fire. Anyway.
Yeah. So where were you, Grandpa, when that happened?
Huh?
Where were you at? How did you get the news? You know what?
He was at Maryview. He worked for Maryview.
For the
and
in the
so
food
we
service,
called.
right?
In the food service, yes.
Okay.
And Billie Jean or the fireman, somebody called him at the hospital and let him know what had happened and that they were taking us, bringing us to the Navy hospital.
Yeah, and it's a good thing I was in the Navy at the time, because I
You
didn't have
were
any money.
retired.
Yeah, I had retired, but and I was,
You
right.
still could go.
And I could use the Navy hospital.
And they got
And
good
so-
care.
When all that happened, they got to some of the best doctors to come to take care of them. And it was a blessing that I had been in the service. And when you go to the Naval Hospital, the servicemen, they got, some of the best care. And that's what happened to them. They got the best care. They had people in from different places in the country down to, because it was an exceptionally bad case, had them to come down to work on them, to get the experience of working on people burn that bad. But anyway, they got through, it brought them through. And the scars, they did the best they could, not so they wouldn't have to leave such bad scars. But Lena was born worse than Mom. And so she suffered worse, and my wife suffered awful too. But anyway, it was a miracle that they came through alive. And everybody was praying. The church was having church service, prayer service for them, and stuff like that. And that's what really brought them through. Kept them around up the church and all were praying for them.
I appreciate you all sharing that story with. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing both sides, and as a child, I've always, it's just something that I've always wondered, and just hearing it helps us get through things, and even when we sat down and talked.